Hi comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And as promised, here is my second video about the lot wins I had at an auction on Wednesday this week. So as I said in my previous video, I went with 3 key lots in mind to buy. I managed to buy 2 of them. One of the first one, which I got really cheap by luck, because the other bidder was half asleep, I showed yesterday, and I'm going to show the one that I paid quite a lot more for, but I think was worth it. So this one I was bidding against a man who had his trainers held together by packing tape, who, despite his appearance, spent nearly £5,000 to £10,000 on comics that day. However, I outbid him on this lot, and I think there's a reason he dropped out. I don't think he saw the money books in this box. I think he had looked at the box, but I don't think he got to the bottom of it, because if he had, he wouldn't have dropped out, or he didn't understand the value of the comics in this box. Right, so I'm going to work my way from what I think are probably the least valuable books right through to the most valuable books at the end. Okay, so bear with me, here we go. We start with a really nice Will Eisner from Eclipse Comics, John Law Detective, issue 1. I do like a bit of Will Eisner. I've got a full set of the kitchen sink ones. Hadn't got this one. That will be going into my Spirit. Well, it's not the Spirit, it's John Law Detective. It'll be going to my collection of Will Eisner comics. Right, as I said, I do have a full set of kitchen sinks, the Spirit. There are about 80 and 90 of them. And in this lot we got issues 1 to 8, which are probably the most valuable ones in the run, but these are now all duplicates, so I'm going to have to go to my ones I've already got and decide which is the better one, keep the better one, and sell the duplicate. So this is a fantastic series by Kitchen Sink. This reprints Will Eisner stuff from, I think, is it pre-war or just post-war? And Will Eisner, still alive at the time. This was in the 1980s. He was quite old at the time, but he did new covers for every single one of these. So the stories inside are reprints, the covers are new. This is issue 1. Issue 2, which is one of my favourite covers. This is an absolute cracker of a Will Eisner cover. Spirit, classic Spirit, carrying a damsel in distress, his shirt all torn and hanging off. Absolutely fantastic. That is, I think, my favourite cover out of the entire series. Issue number 3. We do have the now politically incorrect character down here. Issue 4. I'm going to have to rebag these. These are all in absolute near mint or even higher condition. I think this guy bought these from new, put them in a bag, and they haven't been out of the bag for 30 odd years. Issue number 5. Issue number 6. I mean, these are in fabulous condition. Look at this one with the white cover. Very difficult to get that in high grade, and here it is. Most of these you'll find have been sitting in dollar bin comic boxes for years and in an awful condition. These are in minty clean condition. Number 7. I will be, as I said, these are all duplicates. I don't keep duplicates, so I will be moving some of these on. Other than issue 1 and 2, these are not expensive comics. This is issue 8, and I think the last one we've got is issue 9, yeah. So the first 9 issues of the Kitchen Sink, the Spirit series, very nice. Okay, next up, I have no idea what this is. I have never seen it before, but apparently it's by Brian Boland and Dave Gibbons. It's from Eclipse Comics. Power Power Comics issue 1, and we have a coloured superhero. Power Comics number 2, I can't even find this, I couldn't find any copies of this on eBay. So whether it's just rare or nobody wants it, I don't know. Power Comics number 4, I don't appear to have Power Comics number 3. Right, then we have got another Brian Bolland. This is a Brian Bolland artwork internally. The cover, however, is by Bill Sienkiewicz. And this is a comic called Real War Stories, number 1. I do like the Bill Sienkiewicz cover, and we do have Brian Bolland artwork internally. It's from Eclipse, so it's going to be from the early to mid 80s. Very nice. I've never seen that before. Yeah, like that. Right, we've then got a copy of Grimjack, First Comics, and the reason he's got this issue is because Brian Bolland does the cover. That is a duplicate as well. I picked up a whole set of Grimjack in an auction the other week, so I've got 2 of these now. Not expensive. Superman Annual number 11. Why is this here? Well, it's here because, of course, it's a Brian Bolland cover. And again, this one, Marvel Fanfare 41, he's just buying the artist. Why has he got Marvel Fanfare 41? Because it's a Dave Gibbons cover. Right, we're going to go on to some sets now. The first set here is Frank Miller, and it is Elektra Saga. That is Elektra Saga number 1, Frank Miller. Very nice, mint condition. There's a bit of grub on the bag, but it hasn't affected the comic. This was a 4-issue mini-series. We have all 4 in mint condition. The 4 of these, I saw a set of 4 of these on sale for eBay Raws for about £40. So these are about a tenner each. Really clean looking. I mean, my ones are near mint, so they may be worth more than that. Great looking artwork here from Frank Miller. I haven't got these. These will probably go into the PC. Right, we then have a complete set of Frank Miller's Ronin. Again, all in mint condition. Now, I actually picked up a signed copy of number 1. So I actually have a signed copy of number 1. So I'll probably sell that one. I do have 2 signed. I think I've got a signed copy of number 2 as well. So the number 1 and number 2 there will probably be up for sale. Number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay, so there were about 80 comics in this lot. I paid £160 plus 20%, 20% buyer's premium, so that's 34 quid. So I paid £194 for these, so roughly £2.50 a comic. Well, I think every comic I've showed you there is worth more than £2.50, and I haven't got onto the good stuff yet. So next up, what do we have? We have a full and complete set of V for Vendetta, Alan Moore and David Lloyd in near mint condition. 1, 2, 3. Very muted covers here by David Lloyd. These are, I mean, they're okay, but they're too muted for me. I've already got a full set of these, so I will have to go through and pick out the best copies for my personal collection. These are all near mint. I suspect this will become my PC collection, and the ones I've already got I will move on. Very nice. Number 8. These all need rebagging and boarding. They're in these bags that over a period of time get sticky, so they all need replacing. 9 and 10. Okay, so that's a nice little set. Right, next up, and now we're getting to some money book. Well, we are coming to a money book now. I suspect this might be, I'm not sure, this might be the most expensive comic. It depends on its grade. Right, we now have a full set of Alan Moore's Watchmen. Absolutely one of my favourite comics of all time. I think it's dated, it comes from 1986. I was in my mid-20s in 1986. I can remember reading this when it came out and absolutely loving it. You know, it was a comic that proved to me that there could be adult comics with mature content, well written. It is one of my favourite comics of all time. Whenever I go overseas, I try to buy a foreign language edition of the Watchmen. I think I've got 4 or 5 now in different languages. So I do already have all these. However, I think these ones are going to be in better condition. Now, Watchmen #1 has gone hot again. It was on the hot comics of the week last week because they're making a new animated movie of Watchmen. Now, in a 9.8, this is now a $700 comic. Okay, now, unfortunately, I don't think this is a 9.8. It is very, very, very clean, but on the bottom corner just here, there's a bit of a tear. I think it may be been a production issue. It's a very small tear on the bottom left hand. It's a shame because a 9.8 one of those is about $700. And if that hadn't got that little tear down there, I would definitely have sent that for grading. I might send it anyway, but I don't think it's going to get better than a 9.4. Right, issue 2. The rest of these are, I think, 9.8 candidates. We have number 2, but of course they're not as valuable as the first issue because of all the first appearances in that first issue. You know, we've got Night Owl, Rorschach, the Comedian, Lady Silk. She's called Lady Silk. There we go. Issue 4. It's Dave Gibbons, isn't it, the artwork? Issue 5. This has got to be one of the most important comic series of all time. Issue 6. Issue 7. Issue 8. I have already rebagged and boarded these, so they're in nice new clean bags and boards. Issue 9. Issue 10. And of course down here we've got the clock, which each issue moves up a bit, getting closer to the midnight and the finale. Issue 11, really like this cover with this splash of colour on a white page. Very difficult to get in high grade, and that is high grade. And finally, issue 12. Fantastic, really like those. That will probably become my personal collection because they are all, I think all of those, apart from issue 1 unfortunately, are 9.8 candidates. Yeah, okay, now then, we haven't hit. So why did I go for this box? Well, a full set of V for Vendetta, a full set of Watchmen in near mint, but we haven't hit the mother load yet. What I discovered when I was going through this box, and it didn't say anything about it in the description, was we had a whole bunch of Dave Stevens comics. Right, so when I went through this box and I found the Dave Stevens comics, I think I might have been the first person to view it. So I put all the Dave Stevens comics back in the box at the bottom. So whether that has affected the price of this lot, I don't know. Whether the guy with the with his shoes held together by gaffer tape didn't get to the bottom of the box, or whether he didn't understand the value of these comics, I don't know. But we have over 20 Dave Stevens comics, and something very peculiar at the end. Right, I'm going to work through these from the least valuable to the more valuable. Right, that is Dark Horse number 100. That's not a Dave Stevens cover, no it isn't, but on the back that is Dave Stevens. Okay, so there you go. If you're a Dave Stevens collector, watch out for Dark Horse number 100, because it has got a really nice Dave Stevens back cover. Yeah. Okay. Next up we have Amazing Heroes number 37. I've never seen this before. It was in this lot, and it's got a Rocketeer feature. Dave Stevens and the Rocketeer. And we've got the Rocketeer on the cover. No Dave Stevens artwork, unfortunately, so I don't think it's hugely expensive, but it's a nice little one to have to add to my Dave Stevens collection. Now, quite a lot of these comics now that are coming up I've already got, and quite a lot of these I've got duplicates. So I do have the question of what am I going to do with all these duplicates, and some of them are extremely high grade. Right, so we have the Rocketeer Adventure magazine. This is from Comico, and this was issue 2. I've already got that, but that is in near mint. This guy, this is an original owner. I think he bought these, bought them new, put them in bags, put them in a box, never opened. Rocketeer Adventure magazine. Oh, sorry, that was issue 1. This is issue 1 as well. It's $2. That's what distracted me. So I've got 2 of those in near mint, and I already have one, so I now have 3 copies of that. We also have issue 2. This is from Comico, so these are a bit later. This is after Pacific, and I have 2 copies of that as well. I don't think I'd got that one already, so I'm going to keep one of these, and I shall do something else with the other one. Haven't decided whether to sell them raw or to go and get them graded, because these are really high grade copies, and if they do get 9.8s, I'll get a lot more for them than if I try and sell them raw. Right, this is Pacific Comics Presents the Rocketeer first issue, and sharing the cover with Steve Ditko. I already have this one, but there's absolutely nothing. This is again, I can't see a problem with that at all. That shouldn't be a 9.8. Excuse me, the wind just blew my box away. And also one of my V for Vendettas. Right, I'll collect that in a minute. A number, again, 2 copies of that, and I've already got it. So again, I've now got 3 copies of that one. This is Pacific Presents the Rocketeer by Dave Stevens, issue 2. 1 copy, issue 2 copies, and I already have that as well, so I now have 3 copies of that. I think I'm going to pick out which I think are the best 9.8 candidates, and I'm going to send a bunch of these to CGC because they are fantastic condition. Alien Worlds number 2, a classic Dave Stevens cover. Raw, you'll pay £40 to £50 for this in this sort of condition. If I sent this away and it came back at 9.8, we're talking in excess of $100. Again, I already have this one, so I now have 3 copies of that. One of my favourite Dave Stevens covers that I've had a copy of this. It was in my attic collection. But here we have another one, and I've got a feeling this is better than my copy. Alien Worlds number 4, classic Dave Stevens Good Girl art cover. Right, we're still going, guys. Next up we have special edition The Rocketeer by Dave Stevens, issue 1. This is a great issue. This is quite pricey. I believe I already have a copy of this, but in this box, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I now have 4 copies of this. They are in extremely high grade. So if you're one of my Whatnot buyers, I'm going to give one of these away. So tomorrow night, my late night Friday night show, I'm going to choose one of these and give it away to one of my buyers. They are in near mint condition, probably worth 25 quid raw, maybe a bit more, and if they come back at 9.8, they're worth over $100. Right, now we're getting to the serious stuff. This is Star Slayer number 2. You never see this in high grade. I've never seen this. I've got this, but it's in a mid grade. This is the first actual Rocketeer story. It's not his complete first appearance. You could claim his cameo appearance was in Star Slayer 1, where there was an advert for Rocketeer in issue 2. But this is the first full Rocketeer story in Star Slayer 2 from Pacific Comics in near mint. And believe it or not, we have 2 of those. So I am very tempted to get one of those sent off to CGC for grading, because they are mint. They are mint. I never see these in mint because nobody used to know what these were. They used to sit in dollar bins. This guy obviously bought them from new. And not only that, but we have got 2 copies of Star Slayer 3, the second Rocketeer story, in the back of here. And he got 2 copies of that. I hadn't already got this, so I don't think I'd got this. Or if I have, it's in a pretty low grade. So that's nice. Right, well, on to the final couple of books. These last 3 books. Right, first of all, we have got Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, 3D, issue 1, in near mint, of course. Unfortunately, it doesn't have his glasses in it. I don't know where the glasses have gone, but there's no glasses here. But that doesn't hugely distract from this. Again, I already have this. I think I have the glasses in the one other copy that I've got. So I don't know which copy to keep. But very, very nice. Then we have, I now haven't got this one, so this will be sticking in my PC. Now this is a John Bolton cover. This is 3-dimensional Alien Worlds 3D. Now you might say, oh, that's not Dave Stevens, that is John Bolton. Correct. But the first story in here, the internal artwork, is by Dave Stevens. And of course it's in 3D. This does have the glasses in it. So this is really nice. And I haven't got this one, so you're not getting your hands on this one because it's John Bolton, it's Dave Stevens, it's got the glasses, and I haven't got it already, so that one is coming into the PC. Right, now unbelievably, this next one is the money book. Well, I think Watchmen 1 was a money book, and if it depending on its grade, it's probably more valuable than this, but it's going to be close. This is one of the Dave Stevens comics that has gone loopy, and believe it or not, this is the second time I have picked one of these up cheap. Okay, this is Space Vixens 3D. It's a 3D comic, 3D Zone comic. It's got a wraparound Dave Stevens cover. Raw, this will set you back $200. Okay. Now, those of you who watch my videos will have seen me pick up one of these for €6 when I was in Holland. I've now picked one of these up for £2.50. So there you go. That book in itself, even in a raw condition, would probably pay for this whole box of comics. Right, I'm now going to show you something very peculiar. Just hang on a second. This is really, really odd. I don't know what to make of these. I don't know if they're worth nothing or whether they're worth something. So, the other Dave Stevens comic that is worth something, which I have not got, is Planet Comics number 1. Okay, there is the cover to Planet Comics number 1. However, what is in this bag and board is not Planet Comics number 1. Let me explain. Again, if that was Planet Comics #1, it would be another £200 comic, but it isn't. It is the cover of Planet Comics #1. You have to be careful here because the wind is blowing and I don't want these to blow away. Right, somebody appears to have ripped the front page off Planet Comics #1. It does appear to have been ripped off. I don't think this was printed separately. I think somebody has ripped the cover off Planet Comics #1. Right, why the hell would you do that? I mean, so that is the cover of Planet Comics #1. What is it worth? Well, I mean, if you go and get a comic slabbed, the only thing you can see is the cover. So you could claim this is worth, you know, 95% of what the full comic is worth. I don't know. You can get single pages now slabbed at CGC. This is really odd, okay? Excuse me, because I'm going to have to be careful here because these bits of paper will blow around. Right, then we've got a whole bunch of these. Unbelievable. We have got Jungle Comics issue 1 advert page. We've got Vanguard Illustrated issue 2, which is another Dave Stevens comic I have not got, but I do now have the cover. This is really weird. Who would do this? Why would you do it? What is your thinking about taking the covers off all these comics? Another Dave Stevens comic I have not got. I don't know what this is. Is it a full page? True Love from Eclipse Comics #1. There is the cover. Where is the rest of the comic? I don't know. But somewhere there is a True Love with no cover. I have got the cover. Which is worth more, the cover or the rest of the comic? What I'd have preferred was to have had all the comics. Here we have another classic. I do have this one. This is Airboy. That is Valkyrie. Another great Dave Stevens cover without the comic. This is really weird. Who would do this? I'm just amazed. Right, next up, another classic one. I do have this one with the comic attached. Another great Dave Stevens cover, DNA Agents, number 24. Just the cover. Who died? I can't believe it. Next up, somebody like to explain to me why you would do this. Here we have King Kong, the classic King Kong cover. These are all in, you know, if they were stuck on a comic, they'd be near mint. But I think having had the comic removed, I don't think you can count them as near mint. Johnny Quest. This is a Johnny Quest cover. I've got this as well. Not one of the most valuable Dave Stevens because it hasn't got a woman on the a sexy woman on the front. Right, next one we've got. It's a wraparound cover by Dave Stevens, and we've got the front and back cover to Grendel, but there's no comic in the middle. That's Grendel number 4. Dave Stevens. Oh, I've got another Johnny Quest. It's the same John. I've got 2 of these Johnny Quests with the cover removed. Oh, this is sacrilege. Now, these ones, I'm not sure. I think these ones are flyers. So the next few, I'm not sure are ripped off covers. I think they're produced. This one doesn't look like it's the front cover. It might be, I suppose. But if it's been ripped off, it's been ripped off very neatly. So I think that might have been a flyer for Cheval Noir number 7, which I do have. Cheval Noir number 1, again, this looks like it might have been a flyer, or else it's been extremely well removed from the comic. Next up, and I haven't got this. This is on my want list, and again, I'm I think it is ripped off the comic. This is Twisted Tales, Dave Stevens, 1986, and it does say, yeah, you know, it does say in the, you know, that perhaps it was ripped off the comic. Twisted Tales, first printing November 1987. And then finally, this is another one I haven't got, and I am after, so I will be purchasing one of these sometime soon, is Elvira's House of Mystery number 11. If we could put some of these comics back together, this one and the Planet comics, I'd be very happy. Right, so letters on a postcard, please, as to why somebody ripped the covers off these comics. I don't understand it. Okay, maybe somebody out there can explain it to me. Anyway, I think you'll agree I got my money's worth there. Way over my money's worth. I think there's probably, yeah, I think I've quadrupled my money. I think there's probably 800 quid's worth of comics there. If I send some of those Dave Stevens off for grading and they come back 9.8, then it will be over £1,000, I suspect. So, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. That is your lot. See you again soon.